What's going on? Charles Botenston here. It's drizzling out, but this is such an important video, and I love you guys so much that I just needed to make this. So it's really to the point. So on Wednesday, I came out with a video that said self-development, 4 tips towards it once you really start getting involved, which is questioning yourself. And then you start gaining confidence because you're actually questioning yourself. You figure out what works, and then you're like, this works because I'm doing it, whether it's waking up early or eating. Say you start eating right and then you get more energy, you get more confidence, and you're like, okay, eating right is the right way. You know, as much as people say, you know, milk or meat or other things, dairy products, cheeses, artificial sweeteners or sugar or whatever, it's like, try it out, do the research, see if it works. If it works, you have the confidence. It's the same thing with anything. It's like, you know, when someone says, you know, how do you get rich? And then people who win the lottery are like, well, you could try the lottery, you could try and do a quick fix, or you could work your ass off. You could work really hard at it. So over the last 10 years, there's so many different things that I could tell you that I did not anticipate. And one of them is your potential. All right. So when I first started on the journey, I didn't know what, like, I've heard of like live up to your potential, or do as much as you can so you can maximize your strengths. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Like, and I'm like, I don't have any strengths. Honestly, that's what it was like when I was 21. I didn't have any confidence. Like, I had fake confidence. I had like, yeah, I'm tough. I'm from New York. I play hockey. I play rugby. That's fake confidence. Real confidence is knowing who you are, what you do, and you don't need to brag about it. Like, people will either figure it out or smell it off of you. You know how when someone walks in the room and you're like, who's this person? Because they just exude it. They don't need to say anything. You just know that they're smart. Or you look at someone's body and you're like, that body, male or female, like say they're in shape. That body cannot get that way unless you try, you do something. So this is a realization, and it came to me last night, and it was a very frustrating one. And to be honest, it's not going to be the most positive video that I'm going to have out there, but it's a very necessary one. So number one is, when you start doing self-development, you start gaining confidence, real confidence that you know what you're doing, not fake confidence. Fake confidence is you are pretty. Okay, well, you did nothing to do that. Like, yeah, you worked out and you take care of yourself and everything else. But real confidence is you tried really hard to get good grades and you got good grades. You tried really hard, you made the team. You tried even harder, you became a captain. You tried even harder and you won the championship. That's real confidence. That's putting in the perspiration for a great body, the preparation for a speaking engagement, the preparation for anything, for getting good grades on a test. This is where I guess this is a good and a bad thing. So when you start going through this self-development, you start getting the confidence, then you start realizing your potential. And only until this year, it's starting to rain a little bit more. Only until this year did I start saying, oh my God, like, all those people I looked up towards, they're no different than me. The Tony Robbins, the Brian Tracy's, the Les Browns, the Gary Vaynerchuk's, the people, the Richard Bransons, the Steve Jobs, like, the Elon Musks, they put in the work. They put in the work, but they're no different. As Ashton Kutcher said, he goes, they're no smarter than you and I. The people that built this world, the people that are telling you what to do, the society, your parents, government, social media, all this bullshit, to be honest, all this noise in your ear that you are choosing or not choosing to listen to or consume. I don't consume any BS. So my confidence, my true living into my potential is that I've gained through 10 years. It's not overnight. Through 10 years, I'm like, wow, I can be the number one real estate company in the world. I could be the number one anything in the world. If someone else is the number one, then they have a path to victory. They have a path to doing what I want to do. So number one is, last night I'm out and I was in a conversation, great guy. And the reason I'm saying that, because he is a good guy and it's not on him. Went out to dinner and everything else. And I've told you about this, your social circle and who you hang out with. and we went out for drinks afterwards, and we're at this like kind of shitty bar, and there's some girls around, and I'm a single guy, and I had this visceral feeling, this really deep agony that I was not living up to my potential. Where I was, who I was spending my time with, I wasn't approaching any girls, I wasn't saying hi to anyone, I wasn't being the social guy. Business-wise, I know I could do better. Like, I like where I live actually, so it wasn't really that, but I remember walking home, and it was like 10:30, 10:45, way past the time I usually go to bed, and I had maybe 4 or 5 drinks, more than I normally have, which is usually 2 max, and I just was pissed because I was not living up to my potential. What is the feeling? So that's the title of this video. What is the feeling of not living up? It sucks. It sucks a lot. You could hear it in my voice. Like, the feeling is that you're disappointed, but this is the thing. I need that deep feeling because I felt it before, and this is what happens. And I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna equate this to something in your life where you get a bunch of F's, and you're like, what do I do? You have 2 choices. That's it. You can't stay the same. You go bankrupt. You go through a divorce. You go through a breakup, a really bad breakup. Something really, your parents go through a divorce. You start gaining a lot of weight, and you're told that you have diabetes or you have cancer. Something really, really bad. Maybe not as extreme as cancer or as extreme as cancer. And that's really when people make a decision where you cut off the boats or you continue down the same path. And that's exactly what happens in real estate. I tell everyone that joins real estate, and that's my company, is real estate. And I literally tell every single person, after about 8 months, when the enthusiasm, which is up here, enthusiasm and then time, okay? Enthusiasm and time. The enthusiasm is really high, and then it goes down. The same thing with anything. You're in a relationship. You go to college. You get an A in school, or you get a big client or whatever. Your enthusiasm is really high, and then it starts waning. And that's the decision. That's the decision. And the decision in real estate is, should I stay in real estate or should I not? And that's why the turnover ratio is 50% in real estate. You don't get any benefits. You don't get any paychecks. You don't have a bi-weekly paycheck. You don't have any health insurance or 401k or IRA or anything. There's no pension. Listen, you either live up to your potential or you don't. But you need that deep, visceral feeling of regret. And this is the thing, at least that regret is now at 31 for me. And I'm telling you right now, everyone that's younger than me, every single person, or anyone that could do anything, if you're watching this, you have time. I don't care how old you are. This is the thing, is that some people will come up. I heard it in the freaking, I'm getting really fired up right now, because you don't want to have the feeling I had. And if you do, you're going to ask yourself that question, which is, do I continue down the path of going out with the same friends, drinking too much, staying out late, blah, blah, blah? You know what? I woke up this morning and I said, fuck that. No, that's not me. I woke up at my early time, 5:30. I did my morning routine, was at the gym by 6:30, was done by 7:15, blah, 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 out of the door, healthy. I said, that's not me. I could have stayed in bed and made excuses. That's the decision you make the night before. All right, so I'm gonna tell everyone that's younger is that you're having a great time, and there's probably not many responsibilities or anything in your life right now. Like, I don't even know what my responsibilities were when I was younger. I was like, I'm just gonna get drunk and eat chips and, you know, talk to a bunch of girls that are in my league and that blah, blah, blah. Or you can go to a really nice place, maybe have a martini, talk to a guy that makes way more than you, talk to a beautiful woman who is bringing a lot to your life because you're bouncing ideas and you're bantering off of each other. You ever be in the flow? I wasn't in the flow. That's really what it is. I was so far outside of the flow that I got mad. All right? That's the feeling that brings you into alignment. All right? And this is the last thing I'm going to say is that I was at the gym today, and this guy was, the New York City Marathon's coming up, And this guy said he was talking about his times, his running times and everything else to this other guy who's running in it. So the guy that I'm friends with is the one that wasn't talking. I don't know who he is. Obviously he goes to our gym. But the guy has run 8 or 9 marathons, 4 or 5 New York City marathons. I heard New York City's kind of one of the harder ones. But the guy who he was talking to, they're comparing times, and he goes, yeah, I ran a 4:0 something pace. That was the best time. That was 5 years ago. And then the guy that I'm friends with says, oh, why don't you run in it? Here's the excuse. I don't have time. You can say that about anything. What does it feel like to not live up to your potential? Well, here's one way to find out. You have excuses. By the way, it's really coming down. You can see on my shirt, my jacket. But you know what? This is more important than stupid little drizzling rain. The guy said, I don't have time. And the guy across from him had the greatest freaking answer. He goes, you'll make time because I'm training. The guy that I'm friends with, he's got a kid. He's got 4 kids. He's married. He's got a job. He's there early in the morning training. What's your excuse? What's your excuse? What is it? You just haven't prioritized it. That's really what it comes down to. Prioritize. Say someone dies. You'd make time for the funeral. You'd make time for someone that's sick in your life. You just put it to the top. And right now, don't say I don't have the time. Be honest with yourself and say, it's not my priority. Okay, cool. I can respect that. I can't respect someone that says, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. Blah, blah, blah. What are you talking about? You know how easy it is to start a business online as opposed to back in the day? Yet there were titans back in the day. The Rockefellers, the Fords, the Morgans, Carnegies, the Vanderbilts, the Fultons, all these people. All right? So don't tell me you don't have time. And I hope you get that feeling of regret now and not later on. Gary Vaynerchuk has an amazing video out there called Regret. Just look it up. It will inspire you. And talk to old people, because those are the people that will say, do everything you can now. Travel as much as you can. Talk to as many people as you can. Eat great food. Have a great body. Have it all. Have it all. And that's the good and the bad with self-development. The good is that you see that everything you want is obtainable. The bad is you want to attain everything. It's living into that. All right? So don't have the feeling that I had last night, which was a vitriol regret feeling of you're not living up to your potential. And the question becomes, will you or will you not? And I am. I hope you too. I hope you do too. I could have edited better on that one, but yeah. All right, share the video. I want to get to 7,000 subscribers by next year, because there's a YouTube space in New York City, and they can rent it out once a month to people that have 10,000 or more subscribers. If I have 10,000 or more subscribers, I can get people like Seth Godin and blah, blah, blah on here. Seth Godin lives in New York City. Gary Vaynerchuk lives in New York City. Simon Sinek. If you don't know those names, look them up right now, because those are the rock stars. Those are the people that have best-selling books that are really changing lives, and they don't give a shit about news or reality TV or TV in general or bad food or any of that bullshit. All right? Live your life. You only have one time to do it. Subscribe to the video, leave your comments below. Have an awesome day. I love you guys all. I really thank you so much for all of the support. As you know, I don't ask for money. This isn't my job. This is just that I get as much out of this as you do, because it really instills in my mind throughout the day what am I going through in my life that I can pass on. So have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.